Two sports radio hosts in Cleveland just made a bet that could leave them with permanent ink on their bodies. We're talking tattoos, real tattoos. And the crazy part, they're betting on a quarterback who hasn't even started a game for the Browns yet. Daryl Rutter and Nick Pettone from 92.3, the Fan didn't just casually mention this either. They went on record, on air, stating they'd seriously consider getting Shedeur Sanders tattooed on their skin if he wins a playoff game. Not even a Super Bowl, just one playoff game. Let that sink in for a second. These guys are so confident in what's about to happen in Cleveland that they're willing to mark their bodies forever. And here's the thing, this bet reveals way more about the 2026 Browns quarterback situation than any press conference ever could. The moment happened during a card-opening segment on their show. Rutter pulls a Shedeur Sanders rated rookie card right off the top of the pack, and suddenly the conversation shifts. They start joking about how much the card is worth, but then it gets real. Pettone asks if Rutter would actually get a tattoo of Shedeur if things went well. Without hesitation, Rutter responds that if Shedeur wins a Super Bowl for the Browns, he'd absolutely do it. But then he takes it even further. He says if Shedeur just wins one playoff game, he'd strongly consider it. One playoff game. That's how low the bar has fallen in Cleveland, and that's how much belief is building around this kid. These aren't random fans on social media making wild predictions. These are established media members in Cleveland's sports scene putting their credibility and their skin on the line. They see something coming that most people are still trying to deny. Now, while radio hosts are making bets, Todd Monken is playing chess. The new Browns head coach has been handed what the media keeps calling an impossible situation. 3 quarterbacks, 1 starter's job, a franchise desperate for relevance, and everyone's waiting for him to slip up and reveal who's really getting the keys to the offense. But Monken isn't giving them anything. During his recent media availability, a reporter tried to corner him about the perception that everything goes wrong with the Browns. Monken's response was pure gold. He said winning changes everything. Want to change the narrative about not being a good husband. Be a better husband. Want to stop people from criticizing the offense, score points. Want to shut people up about the Browns always failing, win games. Simple as that. No excuses, no finger pointing, just results. But here's where it gets interesting. Monken talked about competition at every position, not just quarterback. He mentioned that every year resets and players have to earn their spots all over again. Smart move. Take the focus off the quarterback drama and spread it across the entire roster. But then he slipped. Not a major slip, but enough for people paying attention to catch it. When specifically asked about the quarterbacks, Monken said their #1 job is to get the ball in the end zone, not manage the game, not protect the football, not run the system efficiently. Get the ball in the end zone. That's playmaker language. That's not the kind of phrasing you use when you're planning to start a conservative game manager. Monken went on to say he was fired up about all 3 guys in the quarterback room. He praised their eagerness to learn and their attitudes. Then he dropped this line. There's enough there to really like the way Shedeur played at the back end of the year. Back end of the year. That's specific. That's intentional. He didn't talk about Deshaun Watson's past glory or Dylan's early season performance with the same detail. He zeroed in on Shedeur's late season improvement. And for anyone wondering if this competition will drag into the preseason, insiders are already saying it won't. The decision's being made in camp, and all signs point to one direction. Let's talk about what the Browns have actually done, not what they've said. Actions speak louder than words, and Cleveland's actions have been screaming Shedeur Sanders since day one. First, there was the jersey number change. Shedeur wore number 12 when he first arrived, but the Browns made a massive deal out of him switching back to number 2. They didn't just announce it quietly. They hyped it. They created content around it. They pushed it on social media like it was a major event. You don't do that for a backup. You don't generate that kind of buzz for a guy you're planning to sit on the bench while you give Deshaun Watson another shot. Then there's the footage of Todd Monken's arrival in Cleveland. The first player he's seen interacting with in promotional material, Shedeur Sanders. Not the veteran, not the guy with the massive contract. The rookie. The Browns' social media team posted it, pushed it, and made sure everyone saw it. These aren't accidents. These are calculated decisions by a front office trying to build excitement around their future. And it's not just the organization. Players are speaking up too. Myles Garrett, the face of the Browns' defense, has shown public support for Shedeur. Denzel Ward has done the same. These guys don't do that lightly. They're not going to publicly back a quarterback unless they believe he's the real deal. Locker room dynamics matter, and when your defensive leaders are already rallying behind the rookie, that tells you everything you need to know about where this is heading. The Browns even tweeted about Shedeur's draft stock before he was selected, keeping him in the conversation and building anticipation. Every move they've made has been designed to create momentum around number 2. Meanwhile, Deshaun Watson's name barely comes up unless someone's talking about his contract or his injuries. That's not how you treat your franchise quarterback. That's how you treat a sunk cost. Browns reporter G. Bush has been ahead of this story from the jump. While other local media members have been playing it safe and pretending this is a wide-open competition, Bush has been saying what the evidence clearly shows. Shedeur Sanders is the frontrunner, and this is his job to lose. Bush revealed something crucial during his recent breakdown. He said he's spoken to people in 3 different camps: the Browns organization, Deshaun Watson's circle, and Shedeur Sanders' people. And you know what all 3 groups told him? The exact same thing. Andrew Barry and Todd Monken have been solid. They've told everyone the same story. This is a real competition. No one's been promised anything. The best man will win the job. Now on the surface, that sounds like standard coach speak. But here's the thing. When all 3 camps are hearing the same message and no one's complaining, that's actually a good sign. It means the process is legitimate. But it also means the Browns are confident that when the competition plays out, the result will be what they want anyway. Bush also called out the national media for already knowing what's coming while the local media pretends to be confused. National analysts have been saying for weeks that the Browns don't really have a choice. They're going to start Shedeur Sanders. Some have framed it as the Browns being cornered or trapped into starting him because of the hype and the pressure. But that's nonsense. Todd Monken isn't cornered. He walked into this job knowing exactly who his quarterbacks were. He's talked about how much he likes their traits and their playmaking ability. You don't say a guy has elite playmaking ability and then act like you're forced to play him. That doesn't make sense. The cornered narrative is just media members trying to create drama where there isn't any. Monken has options. He's choosing the one that gives him the best chance to win. And that choice is Shedeur Sanders. Let's address the Deshaun Watson situation head-on because people keep bringing it up like it's some kind of roadblock. Yes, Watson has a massive contract. Yes, the Browns invested heavily in him. And yes, he's been a disaster for the last few years. But none of that means the Browns are obligated to keep trotting him out there. Watson's contract is a sunk cost. The money's already spent. Playing him just to justify the investment is how you waste another season and destroy any credibility you have left with your fan base. Todd Monken said it himself during his press conference. Winning changes everything. He's not worried about optics or hurt feelings or contracts. He's worried about putting the best players on the field. And right now, all the evidence points to Shedeur being that guy. Watson might be healthy, but healthy doesn't mean effective. Monken can try to inject confidence into him, sure. But if Shedeur's outplaying him in camp, none of that matters. The job goes to the player who gives them the best chance to score points and win games. Here's what separates people who see what's coming from people who don't. It's the ability to trust what's right in front of you instead of what you're being told. The Browns are doing everything you'd expect a team to do when they're building around a new franchise quarterback. They're promoting him. They're hyping him. They're creating content around him. Their best players are supporting him. Their head coach is using playmaker language when describing what he wants from the position. The jersey number change got more attention than anything Deshaun Watson has done in 3 years. Social media is flooded with Shedeur content from the official Browns accounts. Those aren't coincidences. Those are breadcrumbs leading to an obvious conclusion. Meanwhile, some people are still acting like this is a mystery. They're waiting for some grand announcement or some definitive statement from the front office. But that's not how this works. Teams don't telegraph their plans. They let the competition play out, and then they go with what the tape shows. And when the tape shows what everyone already expects, they'll name Shedeur the starter and act like it was a tough decision. The 2026 season is going to be a defining moment for the Cleveland Browns. They've been stuck in mediocrity for decades, cycling through quarterbacks and coaches and failed experiments. But this time feels different. There's actual excitement building. There's belief. And that belief isn't coming from some desperate hope or blind optimism. It's coming from what people are seeing with their own eyes. Shedeur Sanders has the talent. He has the confidence. He has the support of the locker room and the front office. Todd Monken has the offensive mind to maximize his playmaking ability. And the Browns, for once, seem to be aligned on a plan that actually makes sense. Whether Shedeur leads them to a playoff win and forces Darrell Rutter to get that tattoo remains to be seen. But the pieces are in place. The writing is on the wall. And anyone still pretending this is a mystery isn't paying attention. The Browns are betting on Shedeur Sanders. The media is betting on Shedeur Sanders. The fans are betting on Shedeur Sanders. And pretty soon, the rest of the league will have to deal with what Cleveland already knows. Number 2 is taking over.